Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something truly mind-bending. We're unpacking a fascinating philosophical framework by Xu Feng, and it's titled, Spirit is the Source of Life. This text is, well, it's wild. It literally bridges ancient mythology, the cutting edge of quantum physics, and some of the deepest metaphysical questions of our very existence. Let's get right into it.
So, think about this for a second. What exactly turns inanimate matter into a living being? It's kind of the ultimate mystery, right? Today, we're teasing apart an answer that goes way, way beyond basic biology or cellular structures. We're exploring a framework that suggests the very fabric of the universe requires something much deeper.
Section 1. Myth, Matter, and Breath.
Long before we had electron microscopes, ancient humanity was already conceptualizing the origins of life, usually through allegory. Take the Chinese legend of Nuwa, for example. The legend says she used earthly clay to form human bodies. But here's the catch. Earthly matter all on its own remains totally inanimate. It's just dirt. The vital catalyst in the story was the infusion of her breath, which represents spiritual energy. And it was that breath that transformed the raw matter into actual life.
And the author's primary takeaway from this ancient story is pretty uncompromising. It states that any material, without the input of spirit, simply cannot become a living entity. You could theoretically compile all the exact right chemical components in a lab, but without that distinct infusion of spiritual energy, the text argues it just remains completely lifeless.
Section 2. Is water the real source?
Now, modern science obviously takes a much more materialist view. We heavily rely on the old adage that water is the source of life. We consider it the absolute prerequisite for biology. No water, no life, right? But Xu Feng dramatically pivots here. He asks us to question if this is actually an absolute, universal truth. Is water truly the main engine driving everything? To challenge that assumption, the text provides a truly fascinating list of exceptions. Biology itself shows us organisms like certain viruses, fungi, and diatoms that can survive extreme desiccation. But then the text blends this biology with the metaphysical. It lists non-material souls, supernatural manifestations, and even cites the legend of Zen master Bodhidharma supposedly surviving for 9 whole years without food or water. So, within the specific framework, these extreme survivors suggest that water absolutely cannot be the foundational source of life.
Section 3. The vibration of strings.
Okay, so if water isn't the source, we have to dig deeper, right? Right down into the quantum realm. The text takes us directly into string theory. It describes a scientific reality where fundamental, solid particles actually don't exist at all. Instead, vibration is at the absolute core of all material forms and movements. From the tiniest subatomic speck all the way up to swirling galaxies, the driving force is simply the vibration of microscopic strings. But this brings us to a massive metaphysical question. If everything in existence is really just vibrating strings, where do the strings come from? And more importantly, who plays the vibrations? Because a string doesn't just vibrate all by itself. What gives it that energy?
Now, you might instantly be thinking of the Big Bang, but the author directly dismisses this. He views the Big Bang as mere speculation or conjecture, honestly not much different from the mythological legends we just talked about. The argument here is that attributing these highly ordered, precise cosmic vibrations to a massive, random explosion just fails to genuinely answer what is actually driving the universe.
Moving on to Section 4, the greatest creator.
Since the text completely rejects random chance, it introduces this overarching philosophical concept of an intelligent designer, and it's grounded in a pretty systematic logic. Let's walk through it. Step 1. Every human-made object, like your smartphone or an airplane, obviously has a creator. Step 2. Humans are those creators. Step 3. The text argues that human bodies and our complex organs are themselves intricate creations, honestly far more complex than any machine we've ever built. Therefore, Step 4. Just as the phone has a human creator, humans must have a greatest creator. Basically, the inference is that complex design absolutely necessitates a designer.
So how does this greatest creator actually interact with quantum physics? Well, the author proposes a really beautiful analogy here. The creator doesn't sit there deliberately plucking individual strings like some cosmic musician. Instead, the quote-unquote heartbeat of the greatest creator is the vibration of the microcosmic strings. Think about it. Just as your own heart pumps blood automatically to keep your cells alive, this cosmic heartbeat autonomously pumps vital, organizing energy throughout the entire universe.
Section 5. Spirit as the source.
And this brings us to the ultimate climax of the text, finally defining what these string vibrations actually represent. In this framework, spirit isn't some vague, ghostly concept. It's a transcendent existence with two massive, crucial jobs. For physical matter, spirit is the actual vibrational wave propelling the motion and development of the entire universe. And for biological life, spirit is the literal energy input that causes a physical heart to beat. It's wild. It essentially unifies quantum physics and biology under one single transcendent energy source.
Which brings us right to the text's central and honestly most powerful thesis. Spirit is the source of life. The author emphasizes that life isn't just about water or chemical reactions. It requires an active, continuous connection to this spiritual source energy. And the consequence of losing it? It's severe. Once this energy input, called spirit, is cut off, the text clearly states that life dies instantly. The connection to that cosmic heartbeat is just permanently severed.
Now, I know these concepts are incredibly dense, so if you find yourself wanting to dig a little deeper into the mechanics of this philosophy, today's text is actually part of a larger 3-part written series by Xu Feng. The other 2 parts are an analysis of the frequencies of spirit and the classification and application of spirit. Definitely worth checking out if you want the whole picture.
To wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a lingering thought that stems directly from the journey we just took. If the universe really is a symphony of vibrating microscopic strings, and if, exactly as the text argues, spirit is the literal vibration of life pumping energy into our existence, what happens when the music stops? It's a profound metaphysical question to ponder. Thank you so much for joining me on this investigation. Stay curious, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next explainer.